Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us on another episode of the Conspiracy Keepers on a Numerology Tuesday.
Mm.
Going to make Joe and Scooter very, very happy. My name is Backlash. We're joined by Jackie, Joe, and Scooter. Good afternoon, gang. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are across this great country of ours.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I must add that our country isn't as great as it used to be. It's kind of going downhill. But I don't want to throw a wet blanket on it.
Wow, not even 10 seconds in.
I know. I couldn't help myself even for 10 seconds. Sorry.
The world is ending. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Well, we should let everybody know, get prepared to get into a fetal position. Grab your favorite hubby and a Coke and a smoke or your device you want to pop in your mouth.
Well, go ahead and take it away, Joe.
Well, 322. I mean, that number is really all over the place. I mean, if you're really into Lucifer, this is your day. You've got it all over the place. We've got 322, which is Skull and Bones, which we had a lot of bonesmen in high positions in the government. That includes both Bushes, George W. and his dad, both members of the Yale University Skull and Bones. We've got the 22. We've got multiples of 11. 322 in and of itself, that's their power number is 33. So it's just all over the place. But I would, even we talked about this before, even if nothing happens in the news on days like today, this is a ritual day for them. So this is when they do their stuff behind closed doors. I do want to add one thing that I know went on today, and that's that the Ukraine instituted their social credit score, which is what they're going to want to do here. But apparently the war didn't bother them because they could always do that, do something like that on this day, which tells you they're all part of this same thing. So that's kind of where we are.
Just so you know, Joe, it is just Ukraine, not the Ukraine.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
you tell him.
All
right.
A little pissy about that.
Well, the thing is, I remember when I was a sportscaster in TV, you were never supposed to refer to a team as they. It's always an it. So even though it was technically wrong for me to say they, I always did it because it just doesn't sound right to refer to a sports team as an it. To me, it's a they. So it's kind of like that.
That's a really valid point. That's a very valid point.
Yeah.
Semantics, whatever.
I know. Oh, Scooter, take it away. Skull and Bones. This is their day.
Well, but in the years past, when we did the Conspiracy Keepers, the Skull and Bones and 322 and Geronimo and the Tomb would all be in play because, as you mentioned, you have the Bushes. But it's not just the Bushes. When you look at how many Bonesmen became leaders of the free world.
Right.
Now, here's the problem. Joe Biden isn't a Bonesman.
He's not, but you know what? The secret societies, they're all the same thing, right? You're talking about the Skull and Bones or Scroll and Key and Order of Temple or Scottish Rite. They're all the same thing, even though he's not technically Yale University, Skull and Bones. They still believe in the same thing.
And Joe Biden says on record, on camera, that he is a Zionist. What does that mean? And I sent Jackie, I believe I sent it to all of you, but I don't know who's reading messages or not. I sent the video clip most recently of Joe Biden not stuttering, making it very clear we are ushering in a new world order.
I saw it. It's fantastic.
It's frightening. It's not getting play because Hunter Biden's laptop is Russian propaganda. This is insane.
Oh, yeah. Right.
There is President Biden. The world leaders are now calling for this emergency summit that is taking a week to prepare. Jen Psaki tested COVID positive. So in keeping with CDC protocol, she will not be going on the trip. Thank you for your Twitter. There's President Biden on the international stage as he's demonizing Americans for questioning his foreign policy, and as the world is calling for someone to lead the world out of World War III, problem, reaction, solution. There is Joe Biden on stage, on microphone, not a hot mic, not a glitch. It's in the script, and he reads it. Here comes the New World Order.
He has
Yeah.
to. Yeah, they have to tell us.
That's right. That they have to tell us what they're going to do. Absolutely, they do. And
And
by the
what-
way, today, March 22nd, 1980, they erected the Georgia Guidestones, which they talk about.
Wow.
Their depopulation agendas on the
That's a
Guidestones.
conspiracy theory.
Of course,
You
it is.
sh- you
Joe,
sh-
what year was that, please? I know it
80.
was 322.
Yeah, 1980. So it turns 42 today. The
That is
Georgia
fantastic.
Guidestones.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday to the Georgia Guidestones.
I know it.
That's a good
So-
pickup, Joe. Good pickup.
I'm telling you, it's they are so highly organized. It's really amazing. I mean, they're more organized than most organizations really are, because they all believe in the same thing. They don't have any dissenters among them. And if they do, they get thrown out or they get executed pretty fast.
Sure. Well, absolutely.
One more thing I want to add: Genesis 3:22. Man has become like us, knowing good from evil. We must not now let him eat from the tree of life and live forever. That's not a coincidence either. But that's 3:22. Man has become like us, knowing good and evil.
Wow. Good times.
I know. They got their numbers all tied in. I'm telling you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good presentation, Joe.
Well, thank
That's
you.
so uplifting. Woohoo!
And the interesting thing about it, I'll tell you a little bit about me, is, before I became a believer in the Bible, even before I believed it was true, I was brought up Catholic, but that's kind of, not here nor there. But I wanted to do, not because I wanted to be part of it, because I knew the world was so steeped in evil, I wanted to study the occult. And I studied it for 20 years. And I became a believer in the Bible kind of backward, because I was convinced the occult and Lucifer and Satan was real before I was convinced that the Bible was real. And I was convinced that that group that worships Lucifer hated the Bible. So I thought, well, that must be real too. So I kind of came to it backwards, but I did get there. So I just want to throw that out there.
And then it sounded like Jackie's dog, Satan, was barking in the background. So perfect timing.
Poor dog. Here, let me scold him.
So
Let's see.
Scooter, you're
Go
saying
ahead.
Biden is not a skull and bones. Do they give out honorary doctorates or anything like that?
That you'd have to check your Google on. I don't do the research that I should. I do not believe that there are honorary titles to the fraternity. You would have to look at where Joe attended college and the universities he attended, when he met his lovely wife. Oh, I'm sorry. Wasn't he married? Never let the facts get in the way of a good narrative.
Rose, wait,
I
can
do
I say
not-
something? Have you seen the picture of him with the babysitter on his lap?
Yeah,
The babysitter is Jill Biden.
Oh,
Jill Biden, correct.
Jill, yes.
Jill.
that is correct.
So he's
His
a
doctor.
kooky hair smelling freak from a long
Oh.
time ago, man.
Oh yeah, all those world
So-
leaders are creepy. They're just creepy people, and they have to be before they even are considered for a position like that.
Yeah, sorry,
Right.
Scooter. I just had to go there. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. And again, like the joke that I have an honorary degree from the Knoxville School of Faith Healing. Well, you can get an honorary degree from anywhere, but I don't believe that secret societies do that. I mean, the Nobel Peace Prize Committee does, but I could be wrong. I'm wrong on most of this I say. So, but I don't believe he is an honorary bonesman. But that doesn't mean, as you pointed out, Joe, whether it's the Club of Rome or any of these secret, not so secret societies anymore because of
Yeah.
the internet,
Right.
that they are outed. But that's what then makes it even more convoluted, because there's so much disinformation within the kernels of truth or grains of truth in that whole pile of crap. So if a listener can send us to conspiracykeepers.com, Joe Biden accepted an honorary degree from the Skull and Bones at Yale University in 1993. Okay, then I missed that headline, and I'm a human. I'm at fault, but I don't believe that they do that.
Yeah, an interesting book, and I've been in touch with this lady. I haven't been in touch with her for several years, but her name is Alexandra Robbins, and she wrote a book called Secrets of the Tomb, and she went into a expose about the Skull and Bones. Yale University and all that kind of stuff. So she went undercover, and she had there are people that have come out of it, not very many, because they take blood oaths. And another thing that they do is, she was talking about that they videotape their rituals, and they are forced to lie in coffins with manure, and they perform sex acts on each other, and it's all videotaped. And if any of them even dares talk about this, they'll expose them. So they take blood oaths and they blackmail them to the nine to make sure that nobody gets out and nobody tells the truth about it. John Kerry and George Bush are both bonesmen. They were running against each other, acting like they're enemies, but they weren't. They're lodge brothers. These people were on the same team. They're all on the same team.
Right. Now, I just want to put this out there in the world now because of what I said, for example, about being able to research was someone given, because you can look it up on the internet. And the internet has forever changed the landscape, and yet the mentality of Americans, I'm talking about Americans' mentality, because in Europe, where the world is now focused on a boogeyman, but in Europe, in France, for example, everyone in France, if you're a man, you have a wife and you have a mistress. It is not uncommon for relationships to work like that in what is considered traditional marriage of a husband and wife, and having a groomer, like for Italian mafia, if that is what it is. I'm not making a judgment on it. I'm pointing out that, wait a minute, Marcone is married, and if he doesn't have a mistress, the people of France, if you don't have a mistress and you can't keep a secret from your wife, we don't want you as our leader. You have to be able to keep secrets, but it's accepted. And somehow only in the United States is sex dirty. And I say that because women are empowered. COVID happens, and OnlyFans spiked 1,750, not 170%, 1,750%. Women are showing their hoo-has, for $10 on the internet. When a woman's picture is shown, it's empowering and it's wonderful, and it's free Britney. And yet Anthony Weiner, again, what the name? Okay, but here's your pick, and here's your name, and you're out of politics. So in the West, it's okay for women to, I don't want to say weaponize sex, but using sex it's empowering, it's good, it's wonderful, but it's always to demonize the guy. And I don't get that, because again, in the European theater
I feel you.
of politics, it's, I'm sorry, what you do in the privacy, again, staunch Irish Roman Catholic conservative nationalist. What you do in your own bedroom is your own damn business. I don't need you prancing and dancing around me, asking for me to support it. I don't agree with it, but it's not up to me. That's up to you. I don't know how that whole pool got murky to where it's bad for you, but it's okay here, and then transcend for something like the Pond and the European theater of politics. Because Joe, you're absolutely right. In the West, just like the mafia, we use the gay bars and the brothels to record everything for blackmail purposes. Period.
Okay, remember, this is, I love that you brought this up, the cultural differences. Because do you remember that scene in Sopranos? Everybody fully versed here on Sopranos lore?
Right up until season 5, Brokeback Mafia, but go ahead.
Oh, remember the episode where Tony was, remember he was, his Gumar was that Russian lady with the,
Yes.
she had a crutch or something, a cane or whatever. She had something wrong with her. Her knee. Svetlana, thank you. And something happened to her, and she got hurt by one of the other, terrible situation. And Tony was saying to his wife, "Hi, well, Svetlana's hurt or whatever." And she goes, "Are you seriously wanting me to feel sorry for the whore that, it's the best line in TV, man. I want to record it because isn't it so true? We're all goofed up on this subject of sex and what it's for and everything. But we have to look at it under the same umbrella, the same bridge, that everything right now is inverted. Everything in society is an inversion.
Yes.
And that's to distract, that's to, get us away. That is to rob us of the actual power that we have as human beings. And so every single thing, open a news story, open this, that, or the other, you can see that this is a falsity. What thing is real?
Yeah, I hear you. Absolutely.
Because the Ukraine situation is not
Yeah.
about you. Sorry, the Ukraine situation is not about Ukraine,
Mhm.
is it?
No,
Think about it.
No,
What
that's
is
right.
in Ukraine? Titanium. What do they
raw
need for?
materials.
Right. What do they need for the secret space program? Titanium.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the top 10 in a lot of exportation of goods and services. I mean, Ukraine is huge in
It
that.
has so many
Oh,
minerals,
yeah.
so
Tons.
many
Yeah,
raw
absolutely.
materials. This isn't about that. It's about the
Of course.
stuff that's going on behind the scenes. We can
Yeah.
report on it, and I think it's important that we do. You know what I mean? About the details of what is happening. But what we must get people to at least admit in part is that everything is a lie.
Oh, yeah. Right. That's right. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know we were talking about that, Joe, about
Mhm.
I don't know, last week or the week before, when we got into the metaphysics stuff, you know,
Yeah.
about evil and stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm not disagreeing with you that there's evil and the occult has control of the secrets, you know, the
Mhm.
mystery school information to manipulate us.
Mhm.
But we also, mystery school information is coming up for the good too, for people. So
Yeah,
I know
no, I
I'm
hear
just
you.
Polly purebred on this subject always, but there is hope, you know, there is hope behind it. But here's one thing. Can I point out one thing that
Mhm.
really, really brings me back to where we are in the United States of America?
Mhm.
And that is, hey, this came up because Scooter found this in his storage shed. Scooter, do you have the item in question?
I do.
It's not going to make me cry. It made me cry yesterday, but not today. Oh, you can't see it. Okay. What is it? Better open it.
Oh, okay. You didn't tell me that. You just said break. So I'm not going to tell any of the
Oh,
story.
no,
This
I'll
is
tell a
all-
story.
This is all you.
See it?
Well, here, let
There
me
you
put
go.
my body.
A gorgeous
go.
shot glass.
It's a shot glass, right?
Okay. Mhm.
It's an etched crystal shot glass that I brought back for Scooter from Scotland in 2001.
Oh,
Now, he's only one of 3 people who asked me for a souvenir from my trip to Scotland.
Now, I am going to interrupt you.
Okay.
She's in the DJ booth. We're doing the 80s retro dance party on the peak. I'm going to Scotland. I'm going to Europe. Oh, honey, do me a favor. Grab me a shot glass while you're there. As functioning alcoholics, you go into a bar, you do a shot, you put the shot glass in your pocket, throw it in the briefcase. Not Jackie Selby. Go
No.
ahead.
No, I'm not that type of person. I would never do that. Not that I wouldn't steal a shot glass, because God knows how much, you know, glassware I've stolen in my life, you know, when you're drinking. But we went to anyway, I brought him back an etched crystal shot glass from the place that makes them. Okay. And I also bought one other thing that was etched crystal, but it was a paperweight for my mother-in-law. Anyways, so he goes, yeah, you gave me this. And I had blocked out the memory. See, isn't it cute? From Collins Crystal. Anyway, I blocked out the memory because, you guys, I was there over 9/11.
oh,
Oh,
right.
wow.
My
I remember you
birthday,
talking about that. Yeah.
my birthday is in September. So that's why me and Dylan, my husband who's gone now, we went to Scotland, and because to celebrate my birthday at St. Andrews on the golf course with high tea, right? I mean, St. Andrews, Scotland,
Yeah,
golf
right.
course, high
Yeah.
tea. Anyway, we went to a bunch of other wonderful places. We're up on the Isle of Skye, which is one of the most faraway places in the world, if you think about it, in Scotland. And we got the news. We went back to the pub, the one pub on the Isle of Skye. We went back for, to have lunch and have pub stuff. And by God, on the radio, this little teeny radio at the top, they announced what had happened at 9/11. Of course, you know, England and Scotland are farther ahead in time, like 8 hours. And so it was late in the day, in the morning, when the first building was bombed, you know, on 9/11. I'm like, how is this happening? It was the most surreal experience. And I think as time went by, I buried a lot of the stuff that, you know, went on for the great stuff that went on for the trip. And so Scooter said, yeah, I found this thing you gave me. I'm like, what? I hadn't even kind of remembered. But now, yesterday, I started bawling. I'm like, oh, God, I put all this stuff into a little cardboard box and had stashed it away on the shelf. So anyway, here's why it bugs the crap out of me, is because here we are 21 years later, you guys, and we are still under the Emergency Orders Act, the Emergency Preparedness Act that was enacted by Rumsfeld. we're still, I just took a flight a couple of weeks ago, and I'm standing in line with these, my gorgeous leather boots on for this trip. They come up to your knee, and I'm standing there peeling these leather boots off of my cab so I can put them on a tray so they can go through a machine. All these years later, 21 years later, people are still taking all their stuff and putting it on a belt to go through a machine. There is absolutely no privacy in this world.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you that when they take away our rights, they don't give them back. People think, oh, they'll give them back when things get better. No, they won't. That is not, if you've ever read a history book, they don't give you your rights back.
They don't. And this is why I think it's so important for us to raise our little flag, run up the flag on the flagpole for more sopapillas, to let people know that these things, think about that one thing. If you're flying anywhere, you're allowed to fly now because COVID is in recess.
Yeah,
but, airline ticket sales are now 4% higher to date than they were 2019, meaning we are now back to pre-pandemic flight numbers by the airlines. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. And, my flight was okay, but I still had to wear a mask, a few weeks ago on the flight. And it's really stupid because you can wear any kind of mask you want to.
Yeah, right.
Remember before they were like, no, you have to wear this kind of mask. It was during the height of the pandemic. Yeah. But anyway, you still can't go on an airplane without wearing a mask. And, I had to take off my boots and my purse and my, earrings. And I went through the thing where they take your picture. Mm-hmm. Right. And she wanted to pat down my scarf. I was wearing a cute little bulky scarf. It's winter. Right. I was going to a snow torn area. So I had my scarf on, and they wanted to pat down my scarf and my waistband because I look like a terrorist.
Yeah, of course. Right.
I said to the lady, "You're going to touch my fat roll right now?" Bull crap. She started laughing.
My goodness.
So we're not getting these rights back.
No.
And this is something that we have to recognize. And they're just looking for one more little emergency. What is it going to be? The UFO threat. I mean, they're looking and looking and looking and looking. Oh, look over here. We're working on this dang thing for the Ukraine and Russia, and we want you all involved here. But guess what they're really doing underneath?
Oh, sure.
We can't imagine the horrors.
That's exactly right.
I think we can, Jackie. Now, remember, we recorded the last episode for the Ides of March. And then St. Patrick's Day, I sent all of you the NBC News that ran with Lester Holt at 5:30 Mountain Time. And I just said, guys, just watch the last 3 minutes of this and tell me what you think. I didn't want to pollute or preconceive did all of you watch it? Can we talk about that? Because Jackie, well, what's next? Well, you brought up Rumsfeld and the state of emergency of 9/11, where we are now because Homeland Security and TSA and FEMA all had to combine to collect resources to help the people. And now we had that 3/17 listeners, NBC News, Lester Holt, 3/17/2022. Just watch the last 3 minutes of the news.
How many times does it say 3?
Story.
Yeah, it says 3:33. It's crazy. And is that guy really a person? Can I just ask you, Lester Holt? He just stands there and now his lips barely move, and sound comes out, and he's standing up, but he doesn't. His lips don't move, and he's pictured kind of far away. Yeah,
it was creepy to watch. And yes,
and he's behind glasses. Is he a real person?
Over the last 3 years, 33 natural disasters were not able to be helped by FEMA. And then Fultondale or Fultonville, Alabama, I wanted to know, Joe, where is that in proximity to the ley lines? How many of these 33 natural disasters that FEMA just can't seem to cough up them? People can't rebuild. They can't heal. It's still like the day the storm happened. We're all victims. FEMA's going to need more money. FEMA just announced 2 weeks ago, they spent $2 billion during COVID for funeral assistance. Something is not making sense at FEMA right now.
Are you kidding me right now? $2 billion.
Yeah.
Whoa, people.
Don't believe me. Go look. FEMA spent $2 billion on what they called funeral assistance.
A bunch of crap.
So-
I'm not saying that
is-
people who died of COVID don't need assistance, but that amount of money should send up a red flag for anybody who has a brain, any sentient being on Earth. I mean, let's include the flowers, trees, the birds, and the bees. Let's include dogs, cats. Who wouldn't know that this is complete and total horse manure?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
Backlash,
This makes me
Yeah.
mad.
What?
Backlash, you are going to be charged with a task right now.
No.
The city, well, okay, you can either do this or you can get in your car and go over to Tower Records and get, whatever.
Just so you
song it
know,
was.
those days are over.
What's that?
And
Oh,
fog juice.
whipping-
We're gonna need fog juice.
Yeah, you can start doing things yourself, my friend. I'm sorry about
Okay.
that.
I need you to Google
Welcome
in
aboard.
the news. I need you to Google in the news, New
Yeah.
York Fire Department, robotic dogs.
Oh,
I
no.
believe
Oh,
the-
no.
Yeah, because again, so we can talk about this. The city of New York has 9/11. Well, they're rolling out, Joe, for the fire department. You remember the yellow robotic dog they showed us running on the treadmill?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
several
really
years ago,
awkward and
yeah.
horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the fire department for the great city of New York and the greater state of New York.
Bought
It's
2 of
announced.
them.
Backlash, they didn't, one is none, two is one. No. How many did they get?
It's
I believe it is 77 of them.
no, it says NYC Fire Department gets 2 $75,000 robotic dogs.
And what colors are they?
Friggin' bright yellow. And they're
Well, that's
scary as
no,
hell.
that's the original robotic. The city of New York rolled them out. They changed the paint color. I thought it was
Oh, my.
77.
It's
So
just
maybe
there's
that's
no
to
head on
answer
them. That's
Scott
just
Leeser's question. Yeah, there's no head on these things.
yeah. It's,
They're gonna, Joe. We
Yeah.
can't give them to the city of the police, so we're gonna give them to the fire department. So that we're gonna use these in lieu of regular dogs. They'll assist in, finding victims and, after the fire. No, I think it's preconditioning the public to see the rollout of these robotic dogs in New York City. What's next? FEMA needs more money. What for? Well, we still haven't been able to write the checks on the last of the,
Yeah. Didn't
we're
they
gonna
see
need more money.
there's a new tornado this morning in Texas?
Yeah, that's right. I think it
Texas,
was,
we had
yeah, right.
reports of anywhere from an F3 to an EF5 that is devastating Texas right now. And it is further proof climate change is here and we must do something now.
Boy,
Okay.
they just cannot operate only one of these operations. They got to lay them on. They got to layer them because they're not getting the desired effect from everyone.
Yeah.
We're not all scared to death yet. We're not all living in camps yet. So they just keep going and going and going and going. Let's add on another one. Let's add on another one. They're so stupid. They think there's that this thing in Europe is really because of this guy doesn't like this guy. That's not true.
No, of course. Oh, yeah, right. Well, like you were talking about earlier, what we believe is a lie, pretty much everything. William Casey even said that when he's the director of the CIA, where he says,
Yes.
our propaganda machine is working correctly when everything the American public believes is a lie.
Mm-hmm. Everything is.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. Have you noticed? I
And
think
that was
Scooter
the
and I,
early,
we've
that
talked
was
about
the
this
early
before.
1980s.
Have you noticed at
Yeah.
Home Depot, Walmart, a lot of the new buildings, they always have their architecture of the building that looks like a guard tower? Have you noticed that? They're getting us used to seeing guard towers in architecture. Think
Oh
about
man.
it.
Here's something
Yeah.
else they're getting us used to.
Mhm.
Is Elon Musk sending private business money, private enterprise money, Starlink, to a country over Twitter. Okay. What
Mhm.
does this position? This is getting us used to him
Yeah.
being the president of space.
Right.
That's what Dark Journalist said the other night. This is
Mhm.
getting us used to seeing Elon Musk as the president of space.
Yes.
And how weird is it that he on social media challenges Vladimir Putin to a fist fight? Believe me, I know who would win that, and that is Vladimir Putin.
Indeed.
He is not to be, just think about what that puts in our mind. Elon Musk
Oh yeah.
is so big and important that he can challenge the leader of Russia, who we all hate,
Is
to an
it
Yeah.
Tony
actual
Stark?
fist fight.
Is Tony Stark the Iron Man, the character? If they want to make Elon Musk a superhero, like if Tony Stark was his name
Mhm.
in Iron Man. That's what the world, the kids, this new generation, it's all about superheroes and superpowers
Sure.
and the Marvel DC comic mentality and CGI. Well, back to CGI and the Starman, when we put the car out there, nobody's still really buying that story because of just like we're discovering endurance 2 miles under the Antarctic cap, how it's preserved. We know what happens in space, like Jackie bringing up titanium and the need for that in space for things like heat, and the cold and the extreme of sun and no sun as a body travels through space. So the whole idea of putting a little suit in a car and shooting it out there, and now that's great in the comic book, and that may look good on a screen in a picture, but that picture is very suspect. And in the meantime, if everything we've known to be true about space that allowed for the creation of things like the SR-71 Blackbird, then there's no way that you put that car out there and that car is still intact.
Yeah,
there is no way.
No way. No.
Think about the personalities.
And notice that I preface that with if everything we've been told is true, because Joe, your comment about William Casey in the early 80s, that if we are doing our job, then everything that people think is true is a lie. That's when we know it's working.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Think about the personalities that that have been rolled out to do with this private industry space rocket business. Jeff Bezos, right? He's got his deal. What is it? Blue Link, Blue Origin. Thank you, Blue Origin. Then they have Elon Musk doing his thing that's shaped like a penis.
Right. The phallic symbol. Yeah.
And Richard Branson.
Richard Branson, of course. Yeah. And then there's one other one. And
NASA has the Artemis project.
And it's my belief that they were testing the waters to see which personality people would latch onto. And Elon Musk has it all, really.
Yeah,
he
Bezos is a
weirdness
very distant third.
He names his kids after steganography symbols, right, that relate to other things to do with. I mean, it's all tied in together. And you know what? I think they're just going to make him because this goes beyond saying it's illegal or not within the Constitution for a private citizen to lend help to a country who's at war with another country. Oh, we'll just step in over Twitter and say, I'm going to send you Starlink so that they can run your drones. So Ukraine can run drones to see where the dudes from Russia are at. It's not just so that people can get their phone going. Okay.
And let's talk about the hypocrisy for the regular public, supply chain issues. Elon Musk wants to put this shot glass on the moon. It's going to the moon. He wants it going to the Ukraine. It's there tomorrow. But for you guys and me, we can wait 6 months for your product. So, that's just white privilege. Okay, well, Elon Musk is an African-American, so everybody calm down right there. Wait a minute. You're talking about shipping containers to a war zone, and they're getting them there allegedly in 36 hours or less. So,
hello, people.
Something is not making sense in the headlines. If we're supposed to believe this, then how is this?
We have to keep beating the drum. We have to keep beating the drum, you guys.
Yeah, I know.
How you doing over there, Backlash?
I got to tell you, the conversation has been very lively and entertaining, but by the same token, scaring the living out of me. Just,
So, Jackie, with the bad news of the 322 and the omnipresent of the cults and of the occult and where they want to direct the world, is there any positive symbolisms in 322 or upcoming numerology that is of merit or hope?
Well, how about the astrology? Okay, because coming up on April the 1st, this is the beginning of the strength of Aries. Okay, and Aries is what? Aries is top, Aries is head, Aries is Courage, Aries is forward. Aries is the first sign of the astrological, first sign of the zodiac is Aries. So as I told you last show, Brock Goldsmith said that April 12th is the day that literally people are just going to be popping up, realizing that nobody's coming to save them. Okay. Jesus isn't coming. Nobody's coming from the sky. Nobody's coming from the ground.
There's no rapture.
There's nobody's coming to save us. The United States government is not going to save us, because there's only one government, isn't there? They give us an illusion otherwise. Anyway.
You're right. No, I hear what you're saying.
But
Yeah,
April
I hear
1st,
you.
April 1st is a very big energetic time. It's a very big time for individuals. I'm not talking about what's going to happen with the, governments and structures and stuff like that. But I can tell you that this is the time for us. This is the time for people, individuals, to really gain speed and to take on a project you've never taken on before. She goes on to list a whole bunch of other really great things. So April 1st, April 12th.
Okay.
I mean, we're launching we're just days away from some, really exciting stuff. And for me, stuff is already falling away. I'm already finding things falling away.
Now, you're talking earlier about how much power that we all have individually that we don't know that we have. Do you think, in a way, I mean, we know the way these people are that run the world, they've conditioned us to want a leader, to look outside from ourselves to somebody else. And they've conditioned us to give our power to them. That's what voting does. It transfers your power to them.
To step up and be a world leader.
Oh my goodness.
So
that was the big talking point over the weekend with this summit. Joe Biden needs to display his role in global leadership. He can't.
Look how that's going to work out. He can't walk across the lawn at the White House without going in the wrong door.
Right. But they're calling Joe. I'm reaffirming your statement. They are now calling for a world leader. We need a world again.
Yeah, right.
The original, the League
Antichrist.
of Nations that became the United Nations.
Yeah.
And then, what's that whole, I forget the kid who did those movies, the Christian-based movies of Armageddon. And the leader was going to be the head of the world, and it's Lucifer.
Yeah, it was the Left Behind series.
Left Behind.
Thank you.
Man, those books are
really relevant that I can actually talk about.
Yeah, the books are good. If you guys read the books, man, scary. But it talks about us running around behind the backs of, authorities and stuff and getting identifications and, all this kind of stuff. Oh man, it's juicy.
Yes, your social credit score is going to become part of, you already have your phone. You already have your Vax card right here. Let's just see it. And, you've been good on social media. Good. Well, then you can get your money out of the bank today.
This should be
you can go
the scariest thing in the world, people.
Yeah, that absolutely. The scariest thing about electronics is they can just shut it off whenever they want to.
Includes your
money.
money.
No more cash. Absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely does. If you're not a good little citizen and you don't do what you're supposed to do, they'll just shut you out of society.
So how secure is Bitcoin?
It's not.
Or any of the crypto.
It's not.
Not if they turn on the electricity.
Currencies. Yeah. Well, not the with the electricity's on. You've been bad. You posted something about a war that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about a cashless society is that every single cent can be tracked, unlike cash. So Bitcoin, no matter what it is, it's like everything you do, they're going to know exactly what you're doing, where you're doing it. They kind of already do with the credit cards, right? So that was getting us used to this. But it's just so obvious where this is going. I just don't know why people can't see it. It's so apparent what they're up to.
I know you said that you say that all the time, and I feel the same way. But you just have to keep beating the drum.
I know,
and getting into people's minds where they live, and social media and doing these kinds of things, and we just have to get the message out. That it's just becoming more and more clear to me that that's what I want to be doing, and not talking about Adele albums. Adele songs on the radio anymore. I just can't.
You and I both know she's got issues.
Adele or me?
Adele, not you. No, not you. Adele.
Oh man,
that whole nonsense of putting together that whole Vegas show and then going on social media and she's the victim and it's just never. You pulled the plug because you got cold feet. Mm-hmm. Get over yourself.
Yeah, they're supposedly moving her to a larger venue.
Whatever.
I'm like, larger? Don't make it larger. Make it smaller.
Nice and intimate. 20 people.
And only her friends, like at both those TV concerts,
Yeah.
you know, that happened in, God, was one in 2021 and the other one was last Sunday. Anyway, she packed it full of all of her friends on the front row so she can feel comfortable when she looks out.
Mm.
That's
Well,
pathetic.
gang, unfortunately, I know a couple of you've got to run. I do as well,
Okay.
but we're going to cut this hour just a little bit short today. Very interesting conversation, I got to tell you.
Wait, whoa. Deadpool updates? What about Queen Elizabeth no longer residing now in Buckingham Palace?
Yeah, she has.
Backlash, one more check. Buckingham Palace has 722 rooms.
Yeah. So she owns like 75 palaces, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she can live wherever.
But she will no longer
Mm.
be residing at Buckingham Palace.
They
Yeah.
said that?
Yes,
Yeah, they
it was
did say that.
reported as-
She's been at her other estate since the start of COVID, and Buckingham's going under renovation, a couple $1 billion or whatever. So they're probably making way for the new queen.
Queen
Yeah.
consort.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Dude,
But
dude.
Can you check? Can
It's
you
coming
check
undone.
Backlash? Yeah, can you check Backlash? Because when I saw that, I was like, Buckingham Palace has 722 rooms.
Oh, you have no
What is
idea.
What is the numerological significance, if
Oh.
any, regarding that? And that, yes, clearly now that Queen Elizabeth's, her public schedule has been greatly curtailed.
Oh, yes.
Now she's moving out of the residence. It even brings up speculation. Did Queen Elizabeth die? And they're just keeping, a fake version
could be.
alive while they.
I don't know.
It could be.
She is on her, she's on her way out, dude. You know, after her husband died, and then she was sick and they took her off alcohol. Remember, that was a big announcement. Okay, we're cutting
Yes.
your alcohol. Because she had, she went through, I could be the queen too and go through all those stresses and traumas. She had 3 to 5 alcoholic beverages a day for 80 years.
good for her.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What does she have to do besides be pickled? When you unpickle somebody, there's going to be some stuff that unravels.
Oh, yeah. So Scooter, to answer your question, 775 rooms, 188 staff bedrooms, 92 offices, 52 guest and royal bedrooms, 19 staterooms, and 78 bathrooms.
Whoa.
All right,
Yeah, they're going to need money to renovate that for sure.
just a little.
Let's talk about that more next time. All right, y'all. I got to
Okay.
get.
Yep. All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Have
Thank
a great day. And thank you once again, everybody, for joining us on another episode of Conspiracy Keepers.
Jack,
All right,
do you not
guys.
not have an announcement on anything on the web?
No, not yet.
Oh, then fair enough. You can
Okay.
find me at scootermcgee.com.
Pretty soon. Okay, bye.
All right, guys.
Okay, bye. Be
Mhm.
well.